Good morning, everyone. Let's begin with your doubts. I have one doubt as of now, which says, please explain the concept of key consideration again. Of course, I will do that. Apart from that, if you have any doubts, please post it on the chat box. Right, we were doing key consideration. We began with doing key consideration yesterday. Let's understand key consideration once again. It says raw material and WIP. You cannot write them down below cost. When the final product in which they are going to be used is expected to be sold either at cost or above cost, which means अगर आपको रॉ मटेरियल और फाइनल प्रोडक्ट दोनों दिया है क्वेश्चन में, तो सीधा रॉ मटेरियल देख के आप डिसाइड नहीं करोगे कॉस्ट या एनआरवी व्हिचएवर इज लोअर, आप वेट करोगे, क्योंकि पहले हमें चेक करना है ये रॉ मटेरियल जो फाइनल प्रोडक्ट में यूज हो रहा है क्या वो फाइनल प्रोडक्ट कॉस्ट पे बिक रहा है या अबव कॉस्ट पे बिक रहा है. इफ दैट इज बीइंग सोल्ड at cost, then you continue taking the raw material at the cost. Do not write it down to NRV. If it is being sold below cost, the final product, then over here you will take cost or NRV, whichever is lower. In simple terms, if I have to tell you, then please understand this. In simple terms, you do not straight away value in raw material. You first value the final product, look at the final product, and then you take a decision on the raw material valuation that you have to do. Right, I hope that is clear to you. Aman, I hope that is clear now. And of course, I will be doing a couple of good questions today based on the concept of key consideration, and that is where you will get more clarity. Right, since there are no more doubts, let's go to question number 20. Mark this question, very important. Question number 20, very important question. Let's do question number 20. Very important question. Question number 20 on page number 34. Page number 34. Come to page number 34, question number 20. Okay, let's understand this question. Mark it important. Last day revision question. So this is your important last day revision question. Question 20. It says Mr. Mehul gives the following information relating to items forming part of inventory on 31st March 2015. The factory produces product X by using raw material A. Okay, quickly, everyone on the chat box, what's your raw material, A or X? Everyone on the chat box, what's your raw material? What's your raw material, A or X? A. Okay, what's your final product? What's your final product? Okay, everyone agrees X? Okay, fine, perfect. Let's understand this example completely. Again, I would recommend do not copy this question. Allow me to solve it first. Once I solve it, then you see if you have understood. If you have understood only, then you will copy. Otherwise, you will not copy, right? So please pay attention. 600 units of raw material A, which were purchased at 120, now have a replacement cost of now the replacement cost of raw material A has become 90. Okay, your cost was 120 and now the replacement cost has become 90 rupees. Okay, quickly on the chat box, should I directly take cost or NRV, whichever is lower, yes or no? Should I directly take cost or NRV, whichever is lower? Everyone on your chat box, please reply so that I understand whether you have understood or not. If you have not understood, I will repeat it for you. But please reply so that I come to know whether you have understood or not. Tell me, should I take cost or NRV, whichever is lower? I should not right now. I should wait to understand what has happened with the final product. Right, let's go to the next one. 500 units of partly finished goods are in the process of producing X, and the cost incurred till date is 260. These units can be finished next year by incurring an extra cost of 60 rupees. Okay, we'll see that later on. 1500 units of finished product X and the total cost incurred is 320. Very important, estimated selling price of product X is 300. Now tell me, for raw material 120 or 90? Everyone on the chat box, now that we know about the final product cost is 320 and final product is being sold at 300. So quickly, everyone on the chat box, 120 or 90? Shifa, how do you get 120? Shifa and Aman, how do you get 120? Please explain that to me. Okay, one question on Shifa and Aman, you have to reply to this. Are we selling at cost, above cost, or below cost? Shifa and Aman, my question to you two is, are we selling at cost, above cost, or below cost? That's my simple question to you. Aman, can you explain how above cost? What's your cost, Aman, in the question? Aman, what's your cost in the question? Look at the question carefully and tell me, what's your cost in the question? Your cost is how much? 320. Against that, you are selling at what price? 300, which means you are selling below cost. Okay, Shifa, please tell me, when you sell below cost, you should take cost or NRV, whichever is lower. What should you take? When you sell below cost, Shifa, my question to you is, will you take cost or NRV, whichever is lower, or you will take the cost? You will of course take whichever is lower. So your correct answer will be 90. Okay, excellent. Right, then let me solve it. You please understand the question first and then I'll give you sufficient time to copy. Right, let's go to the solution for question number 20. Put your first statement. As per accounting standard 2, valuation of inventory. Calculation of value of inventory. Let's put it properly. As per accounting standard 2, just see what I'm doing. I'll give you time to copy. So it's okay if you don't copy and just pay attention and understand it. As per accounting standard 2, valuation of inventories, raw material and other supplies should not be written down below cost if the final product in which they are to be incorporated is expected to be sold at or above cost. In the given case, let's put it stepwise. 1. The cost of the raw material is rupees 120 and the NRV is rupees 90. Since the final product, see the language that I'm using, you must write in this much detail in the exam because this question will be asked to you for 5 marks. Since the final product in which this raw material will be incorporated is expected to be sold below cost, that is at rupees 300, we shall value the raw material inventory at rupees 90. Right, so we have explained in detail that the cost is 120, NRV is 90. Since the final product in which the raw material is to be incorporated is expected to be sold below cost, that is at 300, we shall value the raw material at rupees 90. Right, now the second case is interesting. Let's understand that. The second case says if that 500 units of partly finished goods were manufactured using product X and the cost incurred till date is 260 per unit. Okay, can someone quickly tell me on the chat box what is this partly finished unit? What is the meaning of this partly finished unit? On your chat box, it is your WIP. Okay, so let's write cost of partly finished unit is rupees 260. Okay, my next question to you is, what is the estimated selling price of this product? Quickly on the chat box, ये प्रोडक्ट कितने में बिक सकता है आगे? Estimated selling price of the product is, Raj, estimated selling price. Please check, understand, and then answer. Don't make silly mistakes. Aman, I am asking about the selling price, not the cost. Selling price. Yes, it will be sold at what price? 300. Okay, quickly on the chat box. 260 किसका cost है? क्विकली ऑन द चैट बॉक्स, 260 किसका कॉस्ट है? WIP का? ओके परफेक्ट। 300 किसका वैल्यू है? 300 किसका वैल्यू है? फिनिश प्रोडक्ट का या फिनिश गुड्स का या फाइनल प्रोडक्ट का? ओके, now this final product, if I want to compare with WIP, I have to bring down the final product to the WIP level. Only then both will be WIP, and then I can compare the both, or then I can compare the two. So which means I need to bring down the estimated selling price to the stage of raw material. Okay, my next question to you is, कितना खर्चा unfinished product में करेंगे तो final product बनेगा? How much expenditure should I make on the unfinished product to make it a final product? 60. Let's deduct that. मतलब estimated selling price में से मैं unfinished का cost minus करूंगा तो मेरा final product सीधा क्या बन जाएगा? WIP. So let me put over here less. Estimated further expenditure. Estimated further expenditure. Is how much? 260. From this you will deduct rupees. This you will deduct 60. You will be left out with NRV. What's your NRV now? What's your NRV? From 300 you will deduct 60. Your NRV is 240. Right, so what's your cost? 260. What's your NRV? 240. Tell me, what should I take? 240 or 260? Tell me, what should I take? 240 or 260? 240. WIP will be valued at lower of cost or NRV. Hence we shall value WIP at rupees 240. Hence we shall value NRV at rupees 240. Come to the last one. The cost of the final product is rupees 320 and the estimated selling price is rupees 300. Since NRV of the final product is lower, we value the final product at rupees 300. Right, now can you tell me on the chat box, question to you is, please put it on the chat box. Key consideration is applicable to what? To which items of inventory? Key consideration is applicable to which items of inventory? Key consideration is applicable to which items of inventory? Everyone quickly on your chat box. Is it applicable to WIP? Yes or no? Yes, it is applicable to raw material and other supplies. Is it applicable to WIP? Ishika, please check. It is not applicable to WIP. It is applicable to raw material and other supplies. So which are primarily your raw material supplies, it is applicable to that. It is not applicable to finished products. Can you tell me, is it it is not applicable to WIP. Can you tell me, is it applicable to final product? Is the key consideration applicable to the final product? No. Okay, excellent. Let's prepare the final table. Let's prepare our final summary table. Let's begin with the first one. You first have raw material A. So let us begin with raw material A. Quickly help me on the chat box. How much quantity of raw material A do you have? I've opened the question for you. Please check how much quantity of raw material A do you have? कितना quantity है raw material A का हमारे पास? Quickly on the chat box. 600. So let's put over here 600. 600. What's the cost? The cost is 120. The NRV is 90. We will value it at 90. So we have 600 into 90, which comes to 54,000. Comes to 54,000. Next you have partly finished goods. 500, 260 and 240 is the NRV. Of course, you will record at 240. So 500 into 240. Your value will be 500 into 240. The value comes to 1,20,000. So you will have 1,20,000. Finally, the last one. Finished goods X. Number of units that you have in the question is 1500, which we will value. The cost is 320, the NRV is 300. So we will of course take it at whichever is lower, 300. The value will come to 300 into 1500, you get 4,50,000. So you get 4,50,000. What's your total value of inventory? The total value of inventory will be 54,000 plus 1,20,000 plus 4,50,000. You get 6,24,000. Very important question. A frequently asked exam question for 5 marks has been asked many times in the exam. Only if you're clear with everything that we have done, please copy it down. If you are not clear, if you have some doubts, I would request you not to copy. Understand first, ask me as many times as you want to ask, and only then you copy. Right, so if you have any doubts, please post it on the chat box. And if you have no doubts, please copy it down. Solution begins from here. Take it down properly. Okay, there is one doubt which says we are not going to sell WIP, then why are we recording it at cost or NRV, whichever is lower? So I'll tell you what happens in this case is, this rule is applicable to raw material and other supplies. But the reason why they have not recorded it to WIP, because WIP usually will be in huge quantity and will be there at the end of the financial year. Now the question is, WIP is your value of actual cost that you have incurred till date, which means it includes your purchase cost of the raw material plus your processing cost. It may so happen, please understand, that the final product's value goes down. And because the value of the final product is going down, it will directly affect the value of WIP also. Because WIP is neither a raw material nor a final product. It is immediate with previous step of the final product. So the accounting standard board said that still, if there is reduction in value of WIP, it will still reflect reduction in value of the final product. However, reduction in value of raw material does not specifically and always result in lowering the value of the final product. In simple terms, if I explain to you, अगर मेरा एक रॉ मटेरियल है जिसकी वैल्यू घट गई है, जरूरी नहीं है मेरे फाइनल प्रोडक्ट की वैल्यू भी घटने वाली है. फाइनल प्रोडक्ट की वैल्यू उतनी रह सकती है, शायद बढ़ भी सकती है, लेकिन WIP एक स्टेप क्लोजर है आपके फाइनल प्रोडक्ट से. विच मीन्स कई बार क्या होता है, फाइनल प्रोडक्ट का वैल्यू घटता है तो उसका डायरेक्ट इम्पैक्ट आपके WIP पर भी आता है, क्योंकि WIP का NRV will then reduce, though you are not going to sell it, but because of the prudence concept you have to value it at whichever is lower. So that is why we record it at cost or NRV, whichever is lower. Because the valuation norm says cost or NRV, whichever is lower. Right, I hope Simran that solves your doubt. Okay, point number 1, it says आपका रॉ मटेरियल का कॉस्ट 120 और एनआरवी का कॉस्ट 90 है. आप इमीडिएटली कॉस्ट या एनआरवी whichever is lower नहीं लेंगे. You will first check what is the status of the final product. The final product is being sold below cost. How did you come to know that? इधर दिया हुआ है 320 रुपीज कॉस्ट है और 300 रुपीज एनआरवी है. मतलब मैं प्रोडक्ट बेच के पूरा रॉ मटेरियल का कॉस्ट तो रिकवर भी नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ, क्योंकि मैं प्रोडक्ट बेचने के बाद भी रॉ मटेरियल का कॉस्ट रिकवर नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ. आई कैन नॉट रिकॉर्ड माई रॉ मटेरियल एट कॉस्ट. आई विल हैव टू रिकॉर्ड इट एट कॉस्ट और एनआरवी whichever is low. Right, take it down properly. If you have any more doubts, please post it. I will explain to you. I hope Akshay that solves your doubt. Take it down properly. Once you're done with this, please put it on the chat box that you're done so that we can move to the next question. Okay, I have one doubt which says you have a case where I'm writing over here for raw material cost is 40, NRV is 50. Now I have also been given the cost for the final product, but however, I can answer looking at this case also. Harshit, if you can help me come to this provision and tell me what is written in the first two lines. If you can please read the first two lines and tell me, is it what does it talk about? Raw material and other supplies should not be written down. Should not be written down. After that, what do you have? Please put it on the chat box. Should not be written down. I'm asking you this. Should not be written down below cost. What's your cost in the question? Raw material, the example that you have framed. What's your cost in the question? 40. इसका मतलब ये है कि ये प्रोविजन आपको 40 से नीचे रिकॉर्ड नहीं करने देता है. क्या आपकी एनआरवी 40 से नीचे है आपके एग्जांपल में? Is your NRV lesser than 40 in your example? No. Since it is not below 40, which means the question is not of recording below cost, which means this provision is not applicable. For the raw material, you will continue taking 40 rupees. For the final product, you will continue taking 120. Right, I hope that is clear to you. Okay. Any more doubts, please put it on the chat box. If you're done copying this solution, quickly copy this down, then we go to another interesting question. And in the meantime, can someone help me with which questions are left in this accounting standard? If you can please help me and put it on the chat box. Which questions are left to be done in this accounting standard? If someone can please help me look at all the questions that are done and tell me which are still to be done. Please put it on the chat box. Even I will have a look at it and tell you. I think question number 8 is left. Question number 8. '18. 21. 23. I think question number 24. Okay, 24 is also left. Yes, 24 is also left. Okay, are you done with this? If you're done with this, let's go to question number 18. Mark this also very important exam question. Mark this as very important exam question. Question number 18. Mark it, very important exam question. Let's understand it. Okay, very good question to understand. Will clarify. Will be a good question to revise at the end. So put this important last day revision question number 18. Again, it's a very important question. I would request you to pay full attention. Allow me to solve it first. I will solve it completely. Then I'll give you time to copy. You will copy only when you understand. If you don't understand, you will ask me, get it clarified, and only then you will copy. Question number 18. Practice manual question, RTP question, and a frequently asked exam question. It says calculate the value of raw material and closing stock based on the following information available. You have raw material X, which has a closing balance of 500 units. Cost price including excise duty, please make this GST, is 200. GST, input tax credit is receivable. So make this input tax credit is receivable on GST paid. Input tax credit receivable on GST paid. Freight inward is 20, unloading charge is 10, your replacement cost is given to you. Then you have finished goods Y, your closing balance of finished goods is 1200. Material consumed is 220, direct labor 60, direct overheads 40. Total fixed overheads for the year was 2 lakhs on a normal capacity of 20,000. Okay, quickly, everyone on your chat box. How much is your normal capacity of production in the question? Quickly on the chat box. And what about the fixed production overheads? What's your total fixed production overheads in the question? 2 lakhs. Okay. करना क्या है, ध्यान देना. Calculate the value of closing stock when दो केस दिए हुए हैं. NRV of final product Y is 400. NRV of final product Y is 300. मतलब raw material X दिया हुआ है, final product Y दिया हुआ है, और दो केस दिए हुए हैं. Y की दो अलग अलग NRV दी हुई है, and based on that we have to calculate the value of the closing stock. Right, very good question. Please understand how do I solve, what are the steps that I'm using to solve the entire question, and only then you copy. Please don't copy otherwise. Focus on understanding the concept. Put your first statement. As per accounting standard 2, valuation of inventory, we are doing question number 18 on page number 32. Calculation of value of closing stock. As per AS-2 valuation of inventory, let's put it properly. We are doing question number 18 on page number 32. Put your first statement as per accounting standard 2. Valuation of inventories. Calculation of cost of inventories. Let's begin with case 1. What is case 1? Look at the question. Case 1 says NRV of the finished goods Y is 400. So NRV of finished goods Y is rupees 400. NRV Finished goods Y is rupees 400. Okay, let's begin. Cost of raw material is how much. We need to calculate that, so we will prepare working note 1, NRV of raw material is given to us in the question. Look at the question and help me with the values. What's your NRV of the closing stock? Sorry, raw material? 150. Let's prepare working note 1, calculation of cost of raw material. You have particulars, note number, and amount, which is in rupees. Look at the question. Cost price is 200 per unit. So let's put it over here. Cost of purchase 1 is 200 per unit. GST we will deduct. So less GST is how much? 10. My net cost comes to 90. 190, sorry. My net cost comes to 190. Freight inward is how much? 20. And unloading charges are rupees 10. What's your total cost? 220. Your total cost of raw material is 220, so we can put that over here. 220. कहाँ से पता चला? We calculated working note number 1. Now my question to you all is, can I directly calculate cost or NRV, whichever is lower in this question, quickly on the chat box? Can I directly calculate cost or NRV, whichever is lower in the question? No, I will have to wait for the final product. Right, I will have to wait for the final product. Okay. Let's take the cost of the final product which we will calculate using working note 2. NRV of the final product is given as 400. NRV of the final product is given as 400. NRV of the final product is 400. For the cost, let's calculate working note 2. Working note 2, calculation of cost of final product. Let's understand that. What's your material consumed in the question? 220. So let's take that. Material consumed in the question, working note 3, will be 220. Direct labor will be 60. Direct overheads is 40. Fixed production overheads, working note 4, will be 10. You get 330. How do you get fixed production overheads? 10. 2 lakhs divided by 20,000, you will get 10. Which means the cost is how much? 330. Now tell me quickly on the chat box, at cost, above cost or below cost? On your chat box quickly, at cost, above cost, below cost. The final product is being sold at cost, above cost or below cost? Quickly everyone look at the question and tell me, are we selling it at cost, above cost or below cost? Okay, everyone agrees above cost. Okay, tell me what is the value at which you will take the raw material? Value at which you will take the raw material? 220. Let's put that, since the final product Y in which raw material X will be used, final product Y in which raw material X will be used is being sold above cost, we shall value the raw material at cost rupees 220. You have particulars, quantity, value, and your final amount. Let's put it over here. You have raw material X. Raw material X. What's your quantity? Look at the question. What's your quantity of raw material X? 500 units. So 500. What's your rate? The rate that you decided was 220. Your value will be 1,10,000. Finished goods Y. What's your quantity? 1200. Value that we will take is whichever is lower. You get 5,06,000. Total value of closing stock. We can put one more statement over here. Finished goods Y will be valued at lower of cost or NRV. This is case 1. Right, let's also put case 2. If you have any doubts, please ask me. But now case 2 will be very easy because you directly have the working notes prepared. This will remain the same, so I'm directly putting it over here. However, this will change because now the value of the NRV in the question is how much? Case 2, 300. So let's put it over here. Value is now 300. However, cost of raw material 220 will remain the same, NRV will remain the same, the cost of the final product will remain the same, but this time the NRV will become 300. Now quickly on the chat box, at cost, above cost, below cost. Quickly put it on the chat box, at cost, above cost, below cost. Everyone agrees below cost? Okay. If it is below cost, tell me what is the value at which raw material will be valued? This time it will be 150. So let's put our statements. Since the final product Y in which raw material X will be incorporated is expected to be sold below cost this time, the raw material will be valued at 150. Finished goods Y will be valued at lower of cost or NRV. Let's prepare our table for this also. This time you will take 150. What about the final product? What will be the value of the final product? 300 or 330? 300. So let's take over here 300. You get how much? 4,35,000. So you get 4,35,000. Right, let me prepare the working notes for the notes that we have to prepare. Note 1 is already there. So let me just change this to note 2, note 3, 2 and 2. This will become note 4. This will become note 5. Okay, let me quickly prepare that. Working note 2. What all will we cover? Purchase price, freight inward and unloading charges. As per AS-2, valuation of inventories. As per AS-2, valuation of inventories. purchase price, comma, freight and unloading charges will form part of cost of inventory. Working note 3, GST is a refundable tax and duty and hence will be excluded while calculating cost of inventory. Working note 4, material consumed, direct labor and direct overheads will be included in the cost of inventory. Finally, working note 5, this will be 2 lakhs divided by 20,000 is equal to 10. That's your working note 5. That's it. Entire question is done. Very good question to understand. Now quickly on the chat box. Are you all clear with this? Please tell me yes or no. Are you all clear with this? Quickly on the chat box. Akshay, Aman, Aksa, Bhavin, Dipesh, Digesh, Tulsi, Harshit, Ishika, Ishita, Kajal, Khushi, Manav, Om, Pawan, Pushti, Raghav, Raj, Rizwan, Rohan, Sami, Shifa, Shreyas, Shruti, Simran, Spruha, Shrushti, and Yash. Are you absolutely clear with this? If you have any doubts, please do not copy. Ask me 10 times, I will explain to you. But do not simply copy, these are important questions. Right, so please copy this down. Now I think you will have problems copying it because I will need to scroll down. So what I recommend is, I will give you time to copy. I will just put it on your WhatsApp group so that you can easily copy it. I will put it on your WhatsApp group so that you can properly copy it. Just give me a minute. Right, so you now have that on your official WhatsApp group. Please copy it properly. You have 5 minutes to do that. Once you're done copying the entire solution, please write it properly. Do not use shortcuts. Please write it properly. Prepare proper formats. Copy it properly. After you're done with that, please quickly put on the chat box that you're done so that then we can proceed to the next question. Please take it down carefully. This is a good question. This revises the basic concepts of AS2, how to calculate cost, also covers fixed production overheads, covers the entire key consideration and has 2 points. One is at cost, one is above cost, and the other one is below cost. Please take it down properly. I have sent it to you on your WhatsApp group. Please copy it down properly. If you have any doubts, please ask me. I will solve it for you. Without understanding, I would request you not to copy. Take it down. You have 5 minutes. Once you're done with the entire solution, please put on the chat box that you're done so that we can proceed to the next question. Take it down properly, prepare proper formats. You can expect such lengthy questions in the exam. This question has been asked many times in question number 1, the first question number 1A. So ensure that you maintain speed. The first question should not take so much of the time that it puts pressure on you to then finish off the entire questions quickly. So do have writing practice. Once you're done with this question, please put on the chat box that you're done so that I can proceed. Can I move to the next question? Yes or no? Is everyone done? Can I move to the next question on your chat box? Yes or no? Okay, if everyone is done and if everyone agrees, let's go to the next question. Come to question number 8. Let's solve question number 8. Come to question number 8. Okay, please understand question number 8. You will answer this question on your chat box. So please understand the question. It says the company X has to pay for delay in cotton clearing charges. The company up to 31st March has included delay in cotton clearing charges in the value of closing stock. Now the question is, what is the meaning of delay in cotton clearing charges? इस पे ध्यान देना. Delay in cotton clearing charges means that suppose if your raw material has arrived and you have to go and collect it. If you do not collect it within time, you have to pay some charges because you made a delay in going and collecting your material. So that much time your material the authorities were taking care of. Because the authorities were taking care of your material, they will charge some. My first question to everyone in the chat box is delay in cotton clearing charges directly related to acquisition, or is it necessary to get the product or bring the inventory to its present location and condition? Yes or no? Is it directly attributable? No, it is not directly attributable. If it is not directly attributable, should I include it over here? Yes or no? Should I include it over here? Yes or no? Of course not. It will not be included over here. Okay, let's see what they've given. This being in the nature of interest, X Limited decided to exclude such charges from the closing stock for the year 14-15. This would result in decrease in profit by 5 lakhs. Comment. Okay. Now my question to you is, on the chat box, everyone please pay attention. Are you changing the method of calculating cost of inventory? Are you changing the method of calculating cost of inventory? Yes or no? Are you changing the method of calculating cost of inventory? Yes or no? In this question, क्या आप inventory calculate करने का तरीका change कर रहे हो? Quickly on the chat box, yes or no? Yes, of course. Okay. ध्यान देना, second question, conceptual question पूछ रहा हूँ. Is changing calculating the cost of inventory a change in accounting policy? Is it a change in accounting policy? Yes. In this question, why are we changing accounting policy? ये अकाउंटिंग पॉलिसी का चेंज है. मेरा क्वेश्चन आपसे ये है कि हम क्यों इस चेंज को, व्हाई आर वी चेंजिंग दिस अकाउंटिंग पॉलिसी? Can I say, are we complying with that we are complying with accounting standard 2? Yes or no? इस अकाउंटिंग पॉलिसी को चेंज करके जब हम कॉटन क्लियरिंग चार्जेस एक्सक्लूड करेंगे तब हम एक्चुअली क्या कर रहे हैं? वी आर कंप्लाइंग विद अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड 2. ओके, कैन वी चेंज एन अकाउंटिंग पॉलिसी फॉर कंप्लायंस विद अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड 2? यस और नो? कैन वी चेंज एन अकाउंटिंग पॉलिसी टू कंप्लाई विद the accounting standard? Yes. So is this change allowed? Of course, yes, it is allowed. Right, so we will disclose this as per accounting standard 1 in compliance with accounting standard 2. Right, let's look at this, the solution. It says, as per accounting standard 2, valuation of inventory, interest and other borrowing costs are usually considered as not relating to bringing the inventory to its present location and condition, and therefore they are usually not included in the cost of inventories. However, X Limited is in the practice to charge the cost for delay in cotton clearing in the closing stock. As X Limited decided to change this valuation procedure of closing stock, this treatment will be considered as change in accounting policy, and such fact shall be disclosed as per accounting standard 1. Therefore, any change in the amount mentioned in the financial statements which will affect the financial position of the company should be disclosed properly as per accounting standard 1, 2, and 5. Why accounting standard 5? Because this is again a change in accounting policy, and AS-5 also covers that to some extent. Also, a note should be given in the annual accounts that had the company followed the earlier method of closing stock, ये हमने AS-1 में पढ़ा था, if you remember, the profit before tax would have been higher by 5 lakh rupees. So you will make proper disclosures as well. Right, mark this question. Important last day revision question, question number 8. It's a very simple question, but you can be asked this question. So please mark it important last day revision question. Okay, I have one doubt which says, how is it a change in accounting policy? Now, please understand. Is valuation of inventory, Sami, my question to you is valuation of inventory an accounting policy? Yes or no? Is valuation of inventory? Yes. Are we changing the method of valuing inventory in this question? Yes or no? जिस तरीके से इन्वेंट्री का वैल्यू ढूंढना चाहता है, क्या हम वो चेंज कर रहे हैं? Yes or no? Yes. Then simple, it is a change in accounting policy. It is definitely a change in accounting policy. In this question, we have decided to change the method of calculating inventory. क्योंकि हमने method ही change कर दिया है of calculating inventory. This is a change in accounting policy. Change in accounting policy कब कर सकते हैं? For compliance with the statute, for better presentation, and for compliance with an accounting standard. हम AS-2 से comply करना चाहते हैं, इसलिए ये change in accounting policy भी है और ये allowed भी है. So we change the accounting policy in this case, and of course proper disclosures are also mentioned over there. Right, I hope Sami and Akshay that solves your doubt. I hope Sami and Akshay that solves your doubt. Okay, if it does, let's go to one more question. Let's do question number 24. Come to question number 24. Question 24. सीए फाइनल का क्वेश्चन है क्वेश्चन 24. उसके बाद आपके मॉक टेस्ट पेपर में भी पूछा हुआ है और आरटीपी में भी पूछा था, but never asked in the exam. So they can ask you such questions. It has been asked in the RTP and the mock test paper as well. However, not yet been asked in the exam. Right, let's try and understand this question. Please pay attention. It says Alpha Limited sells beer to its customers. So Alpha Limited का क्या business है? Beer बेचने का business है. Some of the customers consume the beer in the bar run by Alpha Limited, and while leaving the bar, the consumers leave the empty bottles in the bar, and the company takes possession of these bottles. ध्यान देना क्या होता है, अल्फा लिमिटेड बियर बेचने का बिजनेस करता है. काफी सारे उसके कस्टमर्स जो है वो अल्फा लिमिटेड के बार में ही बियर कंज्यूम करते हैं और एम्प्टी बॉटल वहीं पे छोड़ के जाते हैं. इस एम्प्टी बॉटल का पोजीशन कौन ले लेता है? अल्फा लिमिटेड. अल्फा लिमिटेड वो एम्प्टी बॉटल्स अपने पास ले लेता है. The company, मतलब Alpha Limited, has laid down a detailed internal control procedure for accounting of these empty bottles, which are sold by the company by calling tenders. मतलब कंपनी ने प्रॉपर इंटरनल कंट्रोल सिस्टम बनाया है. इंटरनल कंट्रोल सिस्टम मतलब कितनी बॉटल्स बिकी, जितनी बिकी उतनी हमारे पास खाली बॉटल आनी चाहिए, कितनी कंज्यूम हुई उतनी खाली बॉटल होनी चाहिए, टोटल खाली बॉटल कितनी है. फिर हम किसी का टेंडर बुलवाते हैं, 2-3 लोग से कोटेशन लेते हैं, और जब जो सबसे हाईएस्ट वैल्यू हमें देता है हम उसको बेच देते हैं. करना क्या है क्वेश्चन में, ध्यान देना. कीपिंग दिस इन व्यू, डिसाइड वेदर इन्वेंट्री ऑफ एम्प्टी बॉटल्स इज द असेट ऑफ द कंपनी. पहला क्वेश्चन ये पूछा है आपसे कि क्या ये खाली बॉटल जो हमारे पास पड़ी है क्या वो हमारी असेट है, पहला क्वेश्चन. दूसरा क्वेश्चन, अगर ये असेट है, इफ सो whether inventory of bottles which is existing on the balance sheet date is to be considered as inventory of the company and valued as per accounting standard 2. तो वो आपसे ऐसा पूछ रहे हैं कि मान लो अगर ये इन्वेंट्री की बॉटल हमारी असेट है, क्या हम इसको अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड 2 के हिसाब से रिकॉर्ड करेंगे? will it be considered as inventory as per AS-2, or will you treat it as scrap or at realizable value and show it as other income? Right, okay. I am again discussing the facts of the case to you. Please understand. अल्फा लिमिटेड क्या करता है? बियर बेचने का बिजनेस करता है. हमारे कुछ कस्टमर्स तो हमारे बार में ही बियर कंज्यूम करके खाली बॉटल छोड़ के जाते हैं. हमने प्रॉपर इंटरनल कंट्रोल सिस्टम बनाया है जिससे हम हर एक बॉटल का रिकॉर्ड मेंटेन करते हैं, ट्रैक रखते हैं. सारी बॉटल्स हम एम्प्टी बॉटल्स हम कलेक्ट करते हैं. उसके बाद रद्दी वाले से हम कोटेशन लेते हैं 2-3 लोगों से, और फिर हम स्क्रैप में बेच देते हैं. क्वेश्चन ये पूछा है, क्या ये एम्प्टी बॉटल्स हमारी असेट है? नाउ can you tell me on the chat box, is empty bottles your asset, yes or no? And if yes, why? If no, why? Quickly on your chat box, is this your asset? If yes, why? If no, why? If yes, why? If no, why? Quickly on the chat box. Are empty bottles your assets? If yes, why? And if no, why? Okay, everyone says no. Right. Can someone tell me layman definition of an asset? Technical definition nahi. Layman definition of an asset. Can someone tell me that? मुझे बहुत टेक्निकल लैंग्वेज नहीं जाननी है. Okay, I take that point. The first point that Akshay has put is benefits in the future. Okay, any other point? Right to use. Okay, anything else anyone wants to add? Something which is held in the business, not for sale. Okay, Spruha, my question to you is inventory your asset? Is inventory your asset? Yes. Are you going to sell inventory? Are you going to sell inventory? Yes or no? Are you going to sell inventory? Yes or no? Yes, in the ordinary course of business, you're going to sell it. Because you're going to sell it, it is definitely your asset. So what you're saying that it is usually not sold is not correct. Okay. If I have to tell you the basic definition of accounting of an asset, then it means one, it should be owned. Ownership should be of the entity. Ownership should be of the entity, and it should be capable of giving rise to future economic benefits. Tell me, are these two conditions getting satisfied in this question? Do you have the ownership of the empty bottles? Do you have the ownership of the empty bottles? Raj, Spruha and Pushti, do you have the ownership of the empty bottles? Yes or no? Do you have the ownership of the empty bottles? क्या वो कस्टमर आके आपसे बॉटल वापस मांगने वाला है? Do you have the ownership of the empty bottles? Yes or no? Raj, Spruha and Pushti, do you have ownership of the empty bottles? That's my question. Yes, you have the ownership of the empty bottles. Are these empty bottles going to fetch you future economic benefits on your chat box? Yes or no? Are they going to fetch you future economic benefits? Yes or no? Yes. Which means both the conditions are getting satisfied. Since both the conditions are getting satisfied, this is definitely your asset. Okay, Pushti, I have a doubt if you can explain that on the chat box. Suppose you come to my place as a social visit with your family. You come to my place as a social visit with your family. You forget your phone over here. Pushti, my question to you is, you forget your phone over here. Which means right now the phone is in my possession. You are the owner, but it is in my possession. My question to you is, can I sell it? Can I sell it? I cannot sell it. Okay. Do I have the possession? Do I have the possession? I cannot sell it, I agree, but do I have the possession? Yes. So possession will not decide the ownership or whether you can sell it or not. In the question, they have clearly given that you have empty bottles which you are able to sell, which means we do not only take the possession, we can also even sell it. If I have the possession and I cannot sell it, then I am not the owner. But I have the possession and I am also able to sell it. Because I have the possession and I am also able to sell it, this is definitely my ownership. I can easily sell it. Right, Pushti? I hope you're absolutely clear on that point. Okay, great. I have one more doubt which says, if the customer wants, he can take it away with him because we sell the entire beer along with the bottle. I completely agree with you. And I want to draw your attention again on the question. It says, while leaving the bar, the consumers leave the empty bottles. So we are only talking about the bottles which are left. जो बॉटल्स वो लोग कस्टमर ले जा रहे हैं अपने साथ, वो तो उन्होंने वहां छोड़ी ही नहीं है. क्योंकि उन्होंने वहां छोड़ी नहीं है, वो हमने पजेस की ही नहीं है. क्योंकि हमने वो पजेस की नहीं है, वो इन्वेंट्री है या नहीं, या वो असेट है या नहीं, उसका क्वेश्चन ही नहीं आता. You do not have any question on that because we are not talking about it. We are talking about only the bottles that have been left. Which bottles are left, which the customers have kept it over there and we have taken possession. तो जो बॉटल वो ले जाएंगे उसकी बात क्वेश्चन में हो ही नहीं रही है, सिर्फ उसी बॉटल्स की बात हो रही है जो कस्टमर छोड़ के जा रहा है. राइट. सो आई होप राज दैट आल्सो क्लियर्स योर डाउट. See, you are not claiming. When someone is leaving, you get the ownership. You are not claiming. See, a claim happens when you also ask for something, I also ask for something, and then there is an argument or there is a case that goes on between you and me. Please understand, we are not claiming anything. हमने आपको बॉटल दी, हमने आपको प्रोडक्ट बेचा, आपने प्रोडक्ट कंज्यूम करके आपने अपनी चॉइस से वहां पे बॉटल छोड़ दी जिसका हमने पोजेशन ले लिया. So you are not claiming something that you have already sold. You have possession of that bottle as a scrap, and of course you can easily sell it. So that is definitely your asset, right? I hope that clarifies your doubt. Let's see what they have given. It says tangible objects and intangible rights carrying probable future benefits owned by the enterprise. Important. Carrying probable future benefits owned by the enterprise are known as your assets. Alpha Limited sells these empty bottles by calling tenders. It means that further economic benefits are accrued on its sale. Therefore, empty bottles are assets of the company. Important point. Empty bottles are definitely assets of the company. Second question. क्या ये आपकी asset है या क्या आप इसको other income की तरह record करोगे? Okay, quick question to everyone. In the chat box, tell me, are you maintaining detailed internal control? Are you maintaining detailed internal control? Yes or no? Yes. मैंने आपको audit में पढ़ाया था. Let me see if you remember or not. Of what nature of items do you maintain detailed internal control, or why will you ever maintain detailed internal control? Why will someone maintain detailed internal control? Because it is material, of course. Since we are maintaining detailed internal control and because these items are material, they are definitely to be considered as inventory and not your other income. See what they've given. As per AS-2 valuation of inventories, inventories are assets held for sale in the ordinary course of business. Inventory of empty bottles existing on the balance sheet date is your inventory, and Alpha Limited also has detailed control recording and accounting procedure which duly signifies its materiality. Underline that. Hence, inventory of empty bottles cannot be considered as scrap and should be valued as inventory in accordance with accounting standard 2. Right, so it will be your inventory. Mark this question important, last day revision question. Quickly on the chat box. Are you clear with this and everything we did today? Are you clear with this and everything we did today? Quickly on the chat box. Akshay, Aman, Aksa, Dipesh, Digesh, Tulsi, Ishika, Ishita, Kajal, Khushi, Manav, Om, Pavan, Pushti, Raghav, Raj, Rizwan, Rohan. Are you all clear with this? Sami, Shifa, Shreyas, Shruti, Simran, Spruha, Shrushti, and Yash. Are you all absolutely clear with whatever we did today? Okay, great. If you're clear with everything that we have done, I think this much is sufficient for today. We will now continue with the remaining part of the standard tomorrow. We are left out only with 2 questions, question number 21 and I guess question number 23. Only these 2 questions are left. So tomorrow we will finish off these 2 questions. We will revise the entire accounting standard as well, and then we go to the new standard. Now, quickly on the chat box, I will also confirm with you. Accounting standard 2 we are doing right now. Accounting standard 10 is left. 11 is left to be done. 22 is left to be done. 20 is left to be done. 24 and 26. Just someone quickly confirm on the chat box. Are these standards which are left? Aman, are you sure we are done up with the entire accounting standard 20? Because I doubt some questions are left. So please check. Please check that. I think question number 20, some questions are still to be done. Yes, of course. So that is why I have kept it as pending. Right. So my pending accounting standards are 2 will be finished tomorrow. Then we can begin with 24 and 26. Then go to 10 and 11, 20, and at the end we can go to 22. Now also one important thing. Once we are done up with the entire syllabus, which probably we will finish off in the month of May itself. So you have sufficient time to revise and appear for the test. Once we are done up with all the accounting standards, then we will look at the RTP and mock test papers and some past papers. So we will of course do that once we are done up with the syllabus. Right, thank you so much for attending. AS3 and 14. So AS3, you have a chapter known as cash flow statement. So AS3 will be covered as a part of that. And AS14, you have a chapter called as amalgamation. AS14 will be covered along with that. So AS14 and 13 are not specific accounting standards. They are part of your chapter. So AS3 is your cash flow statement and AS4 is your accounting for amalgamation. So it will be covered by that respective faculty itself because it's a chapter in total. See, investment accounts was also a chapter, but however, they still ask specific questions on AS13, so we have covered that. Right, okay, thank you so much for attending. I will now see you tomorrow. Till that, revise everything. Be prepared for the test tomorrow. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Right, thank you for attending. And if you have any doubts, please get back to me. Thank you.